Three, two, one. Happy Friday. We are live. What is up, everybody? It is 6:35 here in Mountain Daylight Time, which makes it a little bit after 8 on the East Coast, 5 o'clock for my Pacific West Coast friends. If you're in that good old 7 o'clock Standard Time. I'm not sure how many of you are going to be joining me tonight for tonight's study session, so welcome to Slay Security Plus. My name is Jesse J, aka The Cosmic Cowboy. If this is your first time joining us, we typically stream every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I missed last week, but we're back for a makeup session and we will be streaming tomorrow. I am a healthcare cybersecurity professional, helping companies, specifically a hospital, keep their business operations moving and keep them secure. I see DJ B-Sec in the chat. What the F, he says. Bro, I am doing a little Friday stream to make up for our stream that I missed last Saturday. You may be my only student tonight, and you know what? That is just fine with me, because whether we have 1 student, 0 students, or 1,000 people tuning in, we want to deliver the best Security Plus preparation that we can in a live, community-driven study environment. How is everybody? DJ B-Sec, how are you, brother? You gonna jump on this stream with me or what? It's Friday night. David Edmond says, not sure what is happening. You usually have this video at Saturday, 4 p.m. I passed the Security Plus exam. Let's go. That's what I love to hear. Did you come to any of our live study sessions? And we normally do stream at 4 p.m. I will caveat with that. We're doing a Friday night makeup session to make up for last Saturday. I was gone, and I try and consistently stream for folks at least once a week. You're going to send me a message. Okay, send me a message, DJ B-Sec. David Enmid, congratulations on passing the Security Plus exam. That is awesome. I know the feeling. It's great to get that exam and that certification under your belt, whether it's your very first cybersecurity certification or maybe you're in your career, your boss is making you take it. It still helps round out those fundamental cybersecurity principles at a high level. We know that certifications aren't necessarily everything, but they definitely, when you're trying to get hired, it's kind of the industry standard when it comes to companies that look for certifications. You're going to at least see the Security Plus, usually as a required, if not a desired, certification to have. I smell like smoke, and I'm not talking, the funky Colorado smoke. I'm talking a different kind of Colorado smoke. I live in wildfire country, and I got out of work. It was about 4:30, and my boss comes in, our director, and says there's a massive fire. Sends me a picture. We go out of the hospital, and literally across the street is a massive 30 wall of flames in a little nature walk area that I like to walk. And I usually walk this trail every day trying to get my steps in, and it was completely engulfed by flames. I'm going, what is going on? I don't even know if I could show pictures because they're not going to do justice. It just won't do justice. I don't know if you can even see it. Oh, you can see some flame. There's a fire truck. See a little bit of flame. But it was a gnarly fire. So we watched that. And now I am completely, my eyes were burning. It was pretty intense. DJ B-Sec, I just got your message. Man, I don't know what to tell you, dude. That is, that's something else. May God bless our souls. You see DJ B-Sec here in chat. DJ B-Sec is a cybersecurity professional, an infrastructure manager, and all kinds of things. He is a regular volunteer on the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief, a lot of times helping Dr. Jerry through the glass. He's a friend of mine and a wonderful person when it comes to mentoring with educational tips, real-world IT strategies, and cybersecurity strategies You can find him on Twitch. You can find him on YouTube. Just Google or YouTube DJ BSEC, aka Ben Sherrill. I want to share with you all a few things that are going on in my world that I'm pretty excited about. When we're trying to get into cybersecurity, I think one of the issues, especially in 2025, is finding a way to set yourself apart, finding a way to maybe network in a real way. LinkedIn is, I don't want to say it's completely saturated, but it has become a little bit of a saturated environment when it comes to people seeking cybersecurity jobs. Not that people still don't get jobs from LinkedIn, but one of the best ways you can set yourself apart, really start to get your name and your face and what you do out there, is by attending cybersecurity conferences. I will be volunteering as a lead buddy at Noob Village. This was put together by Josh Mason, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with Josh Mason. If you're not, look him up. Go to mason.sc or check him out. You can find him on LinkedIn. He has been a mentor in the cybersecurity community for a while, but I will be volunteering at DEF CON this year for the Noob Village. So check out noobvillage.org. It's a great place if you're brand new getting into cybersecurity. It's super, super important that you network and meet people and just get yourself out there. I think one of the best things I did for myself, I started going to conferences. My very first one was Wild West Hacking Fest in South Dakota, and that was a phenomenal place to really get to meet people at an impactful level. Sometimes with these bigger conferences such as DEF CON, you're just ships passing in the night, but smaller ones such as Wild West Hacking Fest, or even the Simply CyberCon coming up at the beginning of November in North Carolina, both virtual and in person, is a phenomenal way to meet leaders in the industry, meet other people that are coming up in the industry, find out what employers are looking for today and beyond, right? So we get our certification. We've been doing our home labs. Maybe we've got some IT help desk experience. I come from the help desk world / the kind of the sysadmin, IT admin world, moving into cybersecurity now. And you want to keep it going. And one of the best ways is to go to conferences, because you can see what employers are looking for in the future, help future-proof your career. Because if there is one thing that's true about this industry, is you are continually learning. Threat actors don't sleep at night. They're continually refining their tool sets. Yeah, South Carolina, that too. I said North Carolina, but South Carolina. Tech Ricky, what's up, buddy? I saw you at Wild West Hacking Fest. Great to meet you. I hope I get to see you again. Let's get into some questions. I don't have a PBQ pulled up yet. Let's get a PBQ pulled up for tonight. Let's pick one that we can do. I only have about an hour or so to stream tonight. We will be back at our normal time as well tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay, this one looks fun. Let's get into our performance-based question. And tonight's performance-based question is brought to you by the fine sponsors at Threat Lockers. Listen, zero-day attacks and supply chain attacks keep CISOs up at night. This is what makes them lose sleep and, quite frankly, stay in pucker mode during their career. Worry no more and harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations moving. They take a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provide a full audit of every action, whether it's allowed or blocked, for risk management and compliance. Hello, GRC Mafia. Their onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. If you're interested in checking it out, get a free 30-day trial and see how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Evan Kirstein, what is up, my dude? Wait, is that the Cosmic Cowboy, the Honorable, and Awesome Jesse J? I don't know about those two, but I'll take it. Evan Kirstein, good to see you, buddy. I had so much fun carpooling with you at the Wild West Hacking Fest. He drove on the way back because I may or may not have stayed up too late the night before, and he didn't want me to fall asleep at the wheel. Probably should have had him drive back so I didn't hit the deer last year either, but it's a whole different story. All right, let's get into it. Hey, listen, if you're studying for your Security Plus, one of the things that you need to understand is that the Security Plus is mostly comprised of multiple choice questions. I'm sure you know this because you've done your research, but maybe you haven't. It's mostly composed of multiple choice questions, but don't get thrown off because there is a hands-on section. They call those performance-based questions, and they're more of a practical approach to answering the questions. Really, they're just limited scenarios, kind of in a box, so to speak. And a performance-based question could be anything from clicking, a checkbox, drag and drop. This one that we're going to do tonight happens to be a checkbox performance-based question. Sometimes they're fill in the blank. Sometimes they're harder than they are easier. Sometimes they're a little bit easier. And so it's really important that you have got an idea of what they look like. Let's go back a click. We've done a few in the past. As you can see, here's another performance-based question. And this just gives you an idea of what they look like, right? We saw the other one had check down or checkboxes, whereas this one is comprised of drag and drop menus. I highly recommend that as you, when you get to your exam and you've done your multiple choice questions, and we're going to go through our performance-based questions, right? So you've done your multiple choice. We're going to come back in the end so you have time. You have the brain juices flowing. Talked about this before, the importance of getting through those multiple choice ones first. That we click on everything to see what we can interact with the PBQs. I recently had a Security Plus student. Erin Clary passed her Security Plus exam, and she said it was doing the PBQs and walking through and getting used to seeing what those look like was key. Margarita Giron, a good friend of mine. Good to see you. Welcome to the party. Wanted to come by and say hi. Hello. A little different having us on a Friday night, but we're here. So you'll get your PBQ. The PBQ is comprised of a scenario, and then you go through and answer it. We're going to do this one tonight. You are a security analyst at an e-commerce company. The customer support team has received complaints from users who cannot check out the items saved in their shopping carts. A server administrator disabled several security controls, sounds familiar, while urgently troubleshooting the issue. While the shopping cart now works properly, you must identify the disabled controls and identify ways to prevent similar problems in the future. All right, so basically we had a e-commerce company, the checkout feature on the server was not working, so the server admin on the IT side of things disabled a ton of security controls to get the function over security moving again, but now we got to come back and clean things up. Tasks: identify and revert the security features, list security features that the technician might have disabled or loosened, which need reverting back to their original settings. We want to tighten access controls. This means providing examples of how the company should tighten the access controls on the web server. We want to do proper auditing and documentation. This includes describing the steps to audit the current configuration of the system and how to document the reconfiguration process. We want to future-proof, right? We want to have future prevention, and this looks like recommending measures the company could take to prevent similar situations from happening in the future. That is our mission, should we choose to accept it. All right. So you get this in your shopping cart. We couldn't process your order at the time. I'm going to go back and fix what the IT technician borked, as I like to say. So borked the security. We're going to go back and fix the security. I need a little bit of coffee, so let me slug some real quick. I know, coffee after 6. A wild man tonight. So the first component of our performance-based question here. After noticing several disabled security features on the company's web server, what actions should the security analyst take to reestablish the fundamental protections on the server? Okay. Re-enable the firewall, re-enable intrusion detection system, update antivirus definitions, revert to HTTPS from HTTP, and rotate encryption keys. Amando in chat, thank you for what you do. I've been watching your past streams and they have been a huge help for my studies. Security Plus is the final piece for the trifecta. Let's go, Amado. Thank you so much. I got your name right the second time. Amado, thank you for dropping that piece in. Makes it worth it so much to get up here and do this. So I appreciate you for letting us be a part of your cybersecurity journey. What do we think? Well, we probably want to enable the web server's firewall if it was taken down. Rose, happy Friday. It is Friday indeed. Welcome to the party. Revert HTTPS from HTTP. So for whatever reason, they're using HTTP as to get the shopping cart working, which we would want to re-enable that security feature. Re-enable the intrusion detection system. Yeah. Do we need to rotate the encryption keys and update antivirus definitions? I don't know if those are necessarily important to what we're doing on this web server. Tech Ricky, what do you think? Do we want to rotate the encryption keys and update antivirus definitions? Remember, antivirus wasn't necessarily the issue. We weren't told anywhere in our scenario that I know of that we took down antivirus. DJ BSEC with the CISSP coming off the rip. This is probably just the re-enable ones. Yeah, I tend to agree. Doesn't mention anything about encryption keys being leaked or compromised or hard-coded anywhere. We don't think we need to update antivirus definitions. Didn't say anything about HTTPS or HTTP. No, but it says revert to HTTPS from HTTP. So this tells me that the technician went in and switched protocols, which is funny because most modern browsers won't even navigate to an HTTP website. But it does say revert. So I'm thinking we're going to want to go back to HTTPS. Remember, when you're taking the Security Plus in the performance base, whether it's the performance base, whether it's the multiple choice, you got to take what CompTIA gives you and run with it. There may be a golden answer in the world and the practical application of cybersecurity. CompTIA is asking you to answer the question based on the information and the answers they've given you. So don't get too hung up if you are going through and you don't see the perfect answer. Sometimes it's just you got to go by what CompTIA gives you. All right, next component. To secure the web server after noticing an oversight symbol indicating improper configurations, which steps should the security analyst implement to tighten access controls? Enforce strict password policies. Should be doing that anyways. Implement role-based access control. Implement network segmentation. Set up a whitelist of IP addresses for admin panel. And review and update access permissions regularly. An oversight symbol, that's funny. To secure the web server after noticing an oversight indicating improper configurations, which steps should the security analyst implement to tighten access controls? Enforce strict password policies. Implement role-based access control. Remember, role-based access control, or RBAC, is a way of implementing access controls where either the person or the system gets access to a resource depending on what its role is in the company or within the enterprise, within the environment. Man, this fake background behind me with a little bit of ocean back here, I could get used to seeing that in my window. That's where those big boy jobs are. Well, if they didn't have role-based access control and just everybody and their dear Aunt Sally could have access to the resources in this web server, then we probably want to implement some kind of role-based access control. Enforce strict password policies. Tech Ricky saying password policies and IP whitelist for sure. Set up a whitelist of IP addresses for the admin panel. Review and update access permissions regularly. I think that's a given. Do we want to implement network segmentation? And how does that have to do with access controls? When I think of access controls, I'm not thinking necessarily about network security as much as I am whether a user or a system can gain access depending on their identity. If you notice, the rest of these answers really have to do with kind of identities, right? Role-based access control, depending on what your role is, password policy, so there's some credential management going on here, a whitelist of IP addresses, again, that they can access the admin panel and other ones cannot. Basically, setting up that whitelist means that everything is blocked except for the ones that are explicitly whitelisted. DJ BSEC says you always want to implement network segmentation. I agree. I do agree. Let's fire it off and see what happens. Third component, in reviewing the configurations on a computer, what steps should the security analyst undertake to effectively audit the current configurations and properly document the changes made? Review logs to identify changes, document detailed change log and rationale, perform a risk assessment, conduct pen test, compare current configuration with a known good baseline. In reviewing configurations on a computer, what steps should the security analyst undertake to effectively audit current configurations and properly document changes made? TJ BSEC says, well, we want to compare the current with the baseline. Need to make sure you're at a baseline level, right? So we find a known good machine. Then we can compare that with a current configuration and see what has changed or what needs to be changed. Review logs to identify changes. I agree. Conduct penetration testing. That's not necessarily what we're looking for. Penetration tests are aimed at finding vulnerabilities and then seeing if they can be exploited and providing a company with a document to show them their weak points and steps to mitigate, right? This isn't necessarily to audit current configurations and document the changes that are made. The NFL draft is going on right now too. I watched last night. I was not surprised that Shedeur Sanders from Colorado did not go in the first round. I think he's a decent quarterback, but I don't think the NFL wants the dog and pony show that comes along with having Shedeur Sanders on your team. Document detailed change log and rationale. Yep. And performing a risk assessment, very much like conducting the penetration testing, isn't have anything to do with reviewing configurations, at least the way that I look at it. Yep, DJ BSEC agrees. I feel like it might be document detailed changes, and he doesn't think the risk assessment probably or the pen test. Then the final component of this performance-based question: to prevent similar security oversights in the future, what proactive steps should the company establish? Enforce regular training for support staff. Very important. Establish an incident response plan. Yes. Implement configuration management. Yes. Implement a change management process. Yes. And conduct regular data backups. I mean, you should be doing that anyways. Were they not? Yep, change management process, a board, who's on that team, making sure that you're getting other eyes on it before you just go making changes willy-nilly. That's a conversation I had to have with some folks on my team. Tech Ricky says, send it. All right, let's send it. And remember, we kind of flew through this one. And more than anything, if you're watching this on Team Replay, and let's say we send it and we only get 80%, 60%, 50%, more than getting this correct, my main goal with going through the performance-based questions is so that you're not shocked on test day to see what they look like and how in-depth they can be. So let's send it and see what we get. 17 out of 20. Let's go. I'll take it. What's the math on that? It's like 86%, right? I think. $85%. So mental math wasn't too off. 85%. I'll take it. And remember, you get partial credit. So let's say that you're taking this PBQ, and I say this on every live stream. Let's say this is you, and you're taking the security plus, and you got all 17 of these, but you missed 3. It does not mean that you get the entire question wrong. You get partial credit for the questions you answered. My boy Will Campbell on his way to the Pats. Oh, I wish I had my stream deck, the DJ BSEC, all hooked up, because I would make a puke noise. The Pats, so you're in Bronco country, son. But yes, good for them for getting their boy. Ashton Genty and the Raiders, that's going to make the AFC West a very competitive division this season. I'm interested to see how they play him. I'm interested to see if he's got the power to truly be unstoppable like the greats, like Chimera, like Derrick Henry, who can just, take 5 or 6 people with them. It'll be interesting to see what Ashton Genty does. I guess we should review real quick why. I didn't think implement network segmentation would be, because I think implementing network segmentation is super important. It's something you always want to do. The way the question was, I was interpreting it, was more access controls depending on your identity, more like identity and access management versus network security. Regularly reviewing and performing access permissions is a good practice, but is not directly related to tightening controls post-incident. Implementing network segmentation is valuable for broader security, but is not specific to access control on a single server. I see what they're saying, but I don't know if I agree. Again, we're going with CompTIA has given us. They're saying establish an incident response plan. I guarantee that it is not proactive because incident response is after the fact, would be my guess. Yeah. Establishing an incident response plan is crucial for organized responses to security incidents, but it's not specific to preventing issues related to temporary changes made during troubleshooting. Okay, we got a little bit in depth on that one. I get it. BSAC, the scenario was basically there was a shopping cart feature on this web server. The shopping cart feature was not working, so an IT technician or a server administrator disabled a bunch of security features to get the shopping cart running. Well, now the shopping cart is up and running again, and so now our job as a security analyst, security administrator, whatever you want to call it, is to go back in and fix all those mistakes. I get you. Establishing an IR plan is proactive. If you don't have one, it would be reactive. Right. But we are, so just based off of what CompTIA gave us, is our job is to go back in after changes were made. Establishing the incident response plan doesn't necessarily have anything to do with temporary changes made during troubleshooting. It wasn't like they were troubleshooting the web server and they said, let's get rid of this incident response plan while we troubleshoot the web server. Oh, wait, we need it again. Super important to have one. I agree. And in the general and the broader sense of cybersecurity and protecting your enterprise, yes, having an incident response plan can be looked at proactive. But as far as regarding what CompTIA gave us, in that we're just trying to prevent issues related to temporary changes made during troubleshooting, that is not necessarily going to be in our wheelhouse there. All right, fam, let's get into some practice questions. I can smell dinner cooking. And I am getting hungry. Let's go. I love getting on here, doing these live streams and having people, whether they came one time, watch 20 minutes, whether they use the Slay Security Plus as part of their multifaceted study approach, and they pass, just to be part of somebody's journey, even in a small capacity, is effing awesome, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's get into the practice questions. An outside non-government affiliated group posted a message online claiming responsibility for shutting down the pipeline of a large oil and gas company. This sounds familiar. The group claims to have performed this through a vulnerability in the company's supervisory control and data acquisition equipment, SCADA. So there's an acronym you're going to want to commit to memory. That controls the flow through the pipes. What best describes this group of attackers? A, nation state, B, hacktivist, C, insider threat, or D, advanced persistent threat? David Edmond, thank you for the videos. It helped a lot. You're very welcome. So we've got an outside non-government agency. Let's see if I can make this any... Nope, just gets rid of that. Non-government, so that takes away nation state. Insider threats typically take data, or sometimes, when I think of an insider threat, I also think of the accounting person who maybe spun up a EC2 instance and that's just willy-nilly spinning up some insider shadow IT. Insider threats can be intentional and non-intentional, or an insider threat I think of as exfiltrating or taking out proprietary data, secrets. So I do not believe insider threat. What best describes this group of attackers? We're left with a hacktivist or an advanced persistent threat. Add Slay Security Plus. No good. I would not take away the fact that this is nation state. It says here at the beginning of the question, an outside non-government affiliated group. All I'm saying is that what the question is giving us, the question that CompT is giving us, is an outside non-government affiliated group. A nation state is the opposite of that. They're a government affiliated group. That's exactly what they are. This is telling us that it is not a government affiliated group. So therefore, just by going with what the question gives us, we don't think it's nation state, because this question tells us an outside non-government affiliated group posted a message claiming the responsibility for shutting down the pipeline of a large oil and gas company. The group claims to have performed this through a vulnerability in the company's SCADA equipment that controls flow through the oil pipes. What best describes this group of attackers? And yes, typically nation states would go after something like this. Darknet Diaries did a really good one. We've seen it happen before, but specifically the question is saying an outside non-government affiliated group. And here's why I also don't think it's an advanced persistent threat, because typically an APT is going to remain in your system with their finger on the trigger for a long time. Their goal isn't necessarily just shutting down the pipeline, because it can be brought back up again, right? An APT is going to be in there for a long time. They're going to be maybe creating backdoors, exfiltrating data, finding ways to beacon back home to a C2 server somewhere. They're not necessarily going to get in, shut down a pipeline, right? The goal's too small. An APT is going to stay there for a long time. You're not going to know they're there. To me, this tells me, just based on what the question is giving us, a hacktivist. Non-government affiliated group is mad because there's oil going through the land maybe, and so they're going to shut it down. But we'll shut you down, big oil. Yeah, Tech Ricky is on the level with me. He says, considering the wording of the question, hacktivist. BSEC, I would say B because it's oil and gas, so you're probably dealing with a tree hugger. I do love my trees. I miss you, DJ BSEC. Good people right there. Hope to see you at Wild West Hacking Fest, DEF CON, Simply CyberCon. Those are the 3 cons I'm going to be at. Hope you're going to be there too. Let's see what it says. There we go. Activists, we called it. This question is rated as difficult. Let's send it. Large Organization Security Operations Center, or SOC, noticed its extended detection and response (XDR) antivirus software that a phished email gained access to the company's ticketing system. Ooh. Then to the VPN software. Ooh. And lastly to the company's file share. Ooh. What did the SOC find? A threat actor. B, a hacktivist. C, a threat vector. Or D, a service disruption. This summer, an organization with a SOC has noticed its extended detection and response antivirus software that a phished email gained access to the company's ticketing system, then to the virtual private network software, and lastly, to the company's file share. What did the SOC find? A threat actor. B, a hacktivist. C, a threat vector, or D, a service disruption? Lock your answers in. What's your vector, Victor? Victor? I'm not Victor. I'm Vector. I'm Vector Victor. All right, so this question is asking us something that's important to think about. We probably do have a threat actor who sent the phishing email and gained access to the company's ticketing system, then to the virtual private network software, and lastly to the company's file share. What did the SOC find? Well, the threat actor sent the phishing email. That's not what it's asking. Could have been a hacktivist. Not really what we're looking for. We don't know if it caused a service disruption. There's nothing in the question that tells us that a service disruption was caused. What we have is a threat vector, and all a vector is a direction. It's the way that they got there. The antivirus that a phished email gained access. Right? So how did they get there? They went through the phishing email, went through the ticketing system, then to a virtual private network, and lastly to the company's file share. That is a threat vector, a direction of attack. Let's send it. At least that's what I believe is correct. DJ BSEC agrees. Let's send it and see. Boom. Right? Or as CompTIA puts it even better, a threat vector is the path that a threat actor uses to execute data exfiltration, service disruption, or disinformation attack. Sophisticated threat actors will make use of multiple vectors, so multiple paths. Shut up, Siri. Always listening. Tyler's streaming right now. Can you drop that link in chat? He streams a lot. I like to try and be on his channel and moderate here and there when I can. That's cool. If you guys want to head over to Tyler Ransby's channel, Red Teaming all the way. If not, we're going to stay here and just do some Security Plus studying. A construction, well, actually, let's find it and link it in chat because Tyler's my dude. My dude. You can see behind the curtain what I've been watching and listening to. Allman Brothers, a little bit of AWS, music, fitness. Link coming in hot. There you go. If you're going to be up for a minute, check out Tyler Ransby, Friday Night Hacking, Ask Me Anything. Why not that link? Yeah. A construction contractor received a phone call from a prospective client that the contractor's website looked off from what they expected. After investigation, the construction company discovered that the prospect visited a similar looking website with a slightly different URL. What caused the client to go to an incorrect website? Was it phishing? Was it B, impersonation, C, a watering hole attack, or D, typo squatting? Rose coming in off the rip saying answer D, typo squatting. The big D himself, DJ BSEC, says the big D. Big D in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio. Fishing, impersonation, watering hole attacker, typo squatting. And in theory, the big B, right? Because it's kind of two things we got going on. So, after investigation, the company discovered the prospects visited a similar looking website with a slightly different URL. What does that tell me? That tells me the threat actors registered a website, DNS, domain name services. This takes websites and turns them into IP addresses so our computers can navigate the web accordingly. And let's say this construction contractor wanted to go to tractors.com, but the threat actors registered a website called tractors.com, knowing that somebody may have a typo and accidentally navigate to the malicious site instead, which this is a form of impersonation. But the specific act of a similar looking website with a slightly different URL tells me screams typo squatting. Let's send it. Typo squatting means the threat actors registers a domain name very similar to the real one, hoping that users will notice the difference and assume they are browsing a trusted site. A recently terminated employee copied sensitive information from the company's shared drive right before permanently leaving. This employee, is what kind of threat to the company? A, external, B, nation state, D, a hacktivist, or D, internal? Come on, we just talked about this. A terminated employee copied sensitive information right before permanently leaving. So this employee was terminated, but before they were terminated, they would have been working for the company, not external, because at the time they were still working. We don't see anything about this being associated with a government or a state-sponsored threat actor, so we don't think it's nation state. Maybe this person is a tree-hugging hacktivist in their own time, but this question is specifically talking about an insider threat. Correct. An insider threat is somebody within the company, internal, who intentionally or unintentionally increases risk or takes a company data outside the organization's security controls. Moving on. An accountant received a phone call from an individual requesting information for an ongoing project. The call came from an unrecognized number, but the individual seemed believable and persuasive. Before giving the information over, what should the accountant protect against? A, social engineering, B, coercion, C, typo squatting, or D, brand impersonation? My dude, Casually Joseph, what is up, bro? Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're going to be eating some delicious food because I know that you are a man of good taste and you're probably enjoying a tasty beverage as well. Thank you for stopping by this one-off Friday night live stream. Well, let's talk about this question, right? You're sitting down for your exam. Received a phone call from an individual requesting information for an ongoing project. The call came from an unrecognized number, so we know that it's already kind of something smells a little bit fishy or vishy. Vishing, get it? Casually Joseph said that they just got off of work. How's it going protecting the nation's infrastructure? But the individual seemed believable and persuasive. Well, we don't see anything about a URL that looks different from the real deal or any kind of DNS registering or navigating to a website that looked like the one they were expecting to go to and getting something else. So we can take typo squatting off the board. The individual seemed believable and persuasive. Now, you might want to jump to coercion, but when I think of coercive, I don't think persuasive as much as I do when somebody is coercive. They're like, you need to give me this now or else, right? I'm coercing you. I'm coercive. I'm telling you, maybe giving you some threats. This person just seemed believable and persuasive. Come on. I need you to give me the information. Give up the goods. Aren't we looking out for brand impersonation? This is just a classic example to me of social engineering. Let's send it and see. Social engineering refers to eliciting information from users and getting them to perform some action for the threat actor. Right? Coercion refers to the intimidation of the target with a bogus appeal to authority or penalty, such as getting fired or not acting quickly enough to prevent a dire outcome. See, give me the goods, or your wife is going to be sleeping with the fishes. With some concrete boots. See? This is our last question of the night. I smell the burgers cooking. Hopefully my buns are getting toasted. A security engineer discovered that an active employee copied sensitive information from the company's shared drive and sold it online. What kind of actor describes this employee? Insider threat A. Boom. Easy. Next question. We're going to get one more because that was lame. A local business received numerous complaints from frequent repeat customers about fraud occurring after they ordered delivery through the company's website, even though it was a legitimate website. What type of attack did the customers become victims of? A. Consensus technique. B. Watering hole attack. C. Typo squatting. Or D. Coercion. Yeah, I got one of those a couple days ago. Prove you're not a robot. Press Windows R and paste the contents of your keyboard. The old fake CAPTCHA PowerShell copy paster. Yeah, that's a good one. I had to clean one of those up last week. Super fun. Tech Ricky says, let's head on down to the watering hole, y'all. Right, consensus technique is a form of social engineering where the threat actor tries to convince you that by not complying with what they're asking would somehow be out of the normal because everybody does it, right? This is not what we're going with, not consensus technique. There's no coercion here. There's nobody intimidating or making threats, so we know it's not D. We're left with typo squatting or a watering hole attack. Frequent repeat customers, so people that go to the same place all the time. What do you go to all the time? A watering hole, right? Some kind of redirection attack where the threat actor has compromised the website, and now knowing that everybody goes to it, you go to checkout, and instead of what does it say? When they order delivery through the company's website, well, you order your delivery, and then let's say you click next. Well, instead of going to that next portion of whatever the transaction looks like, you are redirected for whatever reason to the malicious threat actor's website, right? This website has been compromised. Frequent repeat customers is our key word. Just like animals frequent a watering hole, these frequent repeat customers have gone to this website, which is compromised. That's what I'm going with. Watering hole attack B. Let's send it. Boom. Boom. Let's go. Shedeur Sanders didn't get picked up in the second round. Is the second round already over? It started it like... Yeah, it's going to be wild if Shedeur Sanders doesn't get picked up at all. I mean, I get his daddy kind of borking things for him, but completely leaving him not getting drafted would be absolutely insane. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. We're going to be done practicing for today. We're going to take off tomorrow. From this spot, we'll get a PBQ in, and then we'll go jump right back into these questions. I'd like to thank everybody, the 5 million of you that have joined us tonight. Like I said, whether there's 0 people or 5,000 people, we come out at the same, trying to give just some clarity around getting that first cybersecurity certification, which typically is a Security Plus. We hope that you find value in this content if you're watching it on Team Replay. And I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Take care of each other. I got to go eat some food. Got some family over. Don't want to keep the family waiting. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And my name is Jesse J. The rest of you are Slay Security Plus. Until next time,